internet. So right at the end of the private stream with LTMP, my internet just said it was no longer gonna work for basically the entire rest of yesterday. So, but we're back. We've got a very interesting market over here. Market's heading higher here, but again, like we've been talking about, this does not really mean much, especially when we know what the overall sentiment is out of the broad market here. There is not a lot of excitement when it comes to a lot of these names out there, and just the overall market as a whole, we are still potentially in for a pretty significant move to the downside, a nice little reset in the market to kind of set ourselves up for a nice spring and summer here. But ladies and gentlemen, this name that I threw in the watch list for you guys last night here with the break above 160.115, Bloom Energy, absolutely ripping over here this morning here. Really awesome move for everybody to start off. Congratulations, guys. This one is looking really good so far. Again, a little bit of volatility throughout the day, and with this market, you know, anything can happen, but this one is off to a very strong start here. We've got a lot of interesting things to talk about today, especially with some of these cracks and worries that we're starting to see around risky lending here. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of day again. Say good morning to somebody in the live chat. If you guys would like to say good morning to me, would love to receive some good mornings over here. If you guys are new to the group, new to the stream, new to the channel, let me know. I'd love to welcome you guys in here. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys are hitting that like button on the way in. Cost you absolutely nothing to do it, but helps us out a whole lot. Spreading this information out to as many people and these streams out to as many people who actually want to learn. SEDG, did that actually really get going? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was another one. But let's see. Yeah, Bloom Energy looking awesome, guys. Really strong start to this one. First target kind of being right around 176.53. If you want to trim a little there, by all means. I am up 57% on Bloom Energy over here so far. Nice. Great start. So let's see who we have in here this morning. Again, let yourselves be known. Say hi to somebody. Very interesting moves in the precious metals market today as well. The dollar is moving back to the upside. We are seeing that little pullback in gold here, but overall, you're still seeing a really strong chart on gold here. Let's see if silver's holding the 10. Yeah, silver still looks fine here too. So these precious metals, guys, can still have a lot of really solid action ahead of them over the next couple of weeks. NEO is seeing some interesting action over here today with this drop right now below the, below the daily 200 EMA here. So not great action there so far for NEO this morning, only down about 1.6% here, but ideally we want to see this thing hold above the daily 200 exponential moving average going into the end of this week. But we really want to see, again, just at a bare minimum, getting these closes above the weekly 10 exponential moving average, which would keep us right above 506. That would be at a really strong start for NEO to potentially make a decent move over the next couple of weeks leading into that next earnings report. XPEV over here, also another Chinese EV that is looking very solid coming off these lows with a nice setup. You easily could see a nice move here up to that 200 EMA. XPEV just generally has been one of the big winners in the Chinese EV space here. Has performed a lot better and held a lot better than some of the other EVs there too. So let's see, but look at this move on Bloom Energy, guys. This thing is looking great. So let's see who we have in here. We've got Michael, Gerald, we've got Eddie, Drew, Far and B. We've got Ale, Boomtown. Good morning, guys. Again, make sure you guys are hitting that like button on the way in. Costs you nothing to do it. Helps me out a whole lot spreading these streams out. I might be able to get some YouTube videos out for you guys today. That'd be nice. Or one YouTube video out. We will see. AMD, very positive result today after the Facebook signing a 5-year deal for its data, the chips for its data centers, starting with 1 gigawatt this year, totaling 6 gigawatts with delivery starting in late 2026. Oh, Cat is getting there. Ooh, that's another one we've been hunting. Oh yeah, Cat is right there too. Cat is right there too, right off the watch list there. Oh my god, Bloom. Guys, this could be a really massive one here. Yeah, this one could be really big. Where's gold? Yeah, gold hanging on here. So, we'll see. Really strong start on this one. congratulations to everybody in this. Again, though, like we've been talking about with the broad market, and this is something that I think everybody should have recognized at this point, like this market, what we are seeing across the board on the major indexes is not favorable action. It just isn't. When you look at this and you just see all of this chop, this is not the time frame to be like, one, going out and buying individual names, or two, trying to take a significant amount of short-term trades. Again, less trades, more profits. Understanding where capital is rotating into and why is going, one, it's going to allow you to still, again, be able to generate returns in these types of market environments. And then also building those skills now, which is what I talk about with you guys all the time, is going to make like your returns when the market conditions shift to being very favorable again so much better. So you want to look at APLD? We can take a look at this. And there's nothing there. Nothing there for you. It's in no man's land. Neo dipping a little. XPEV holding on nicely there though. Yeah, it'd be very interesting if gold shifted back to I mean, it'd be tough to get this thing back to green today, but you never know. Gold can go on a run. Gold can go on a little bit of a run. All right, let's check the news feed, see if there's anything useful for us. I doubt it. Oh, actually, what I want to show you guys too is, again, look at what we're seeing in the crypto space. Do we think that this is any sign of risk on in the market? No. No. None of what we're seeing right here in the crypto space is telling us that the market is ready to go risk on. First stop to the downside here on Bitcoin, that 60,000 area, you were flirting again with that break of the daily 10 exponential moving average up here. It wasn't able to do it. You just saw another period where it comes up, tests that area, and then starts pushing to the downside again. If we see any weakness in the market, I mean, this is just not going to have any fun. You are definitely going to see some further downside, like we've been talking about, down to that $50,000 area. Same exact thing that we're looking at here on Ethereum. Again, you've got that first area right here at around 1744, and then you've got a lot more downside here potentially to sub 1400, which again, if you think about what's going to happen with Bmnr in that case, it won't be good. It won't be good. This thing could easily come back all the way down to like, I don't know, 12, 13. You easily could see that type of action here. So got to be careful. I mean, people are not, like, these are the markets like I was tweeting out yesterday, and if you're not following me on X, make sure you guys are. It's at Short the VIX 2. It's like, if I have to search a lot to find setups, guys, I just don't trade. When the conditions in the market are favorable, you literally won't be able to avoid the setups. They're going to be everywhere. Until then, you just got to wait and have patience and preserve capital. Those who can do that will win. Those who can't will lose everything. That is the situation in the period that we are in the market right now. If you try to enforce things and treat this market as something that it's not, you're going to end up in pain. Yeah, we're starting to see some cracks across the board too, especially with like Jamie Dimon coming out and talking about what do you call it? The risky lending behaviors that are starting to pop back up, very similarly to what was happening pre-08. You're seeing a lot in private credit. I bet a lot of you guys saw the conversations on social media over the weekend about these issues within private credit, especially these software companies. That's kind of what's being highlighted first, but generally there's already a big issue with a lot of these companies being marked up significantly. Some of the companies are struggling a little bit, especially the ones that are going to be getting hit by AI first, and they're not able to pay a lot of these loans, which then creates a problem for potentially some of these insurers that have invested into these things because, again, these private credit and private equity firms own the insurance companies. Not good. I've been sitting out, still have half your GERN position, have a full position in TRMD, saving your capital for the boom boom after the nuke. Not smart. Smart. Doesn't mean we get it. Remember, there's still that scenario for that rally into the upside there, that most hated rally, but like, it won't last. Like, I don't think that the market right now needs a reset. It's just kind of the pill that a lot of people just don't want to swallow. And it hasn't been able to do it yet because what we've seen, and this is something that we talked a lot about last year, where like people were talking about, oh my God, there's like really high levels of concentration risk within the market, which is true. You have a significant portion of capital allocated to these Mag 7 companies. And the concentration within the S&P is significant. And that's why we saw just overall like SPY outperforming RSP over the last, like, I don't know, year, 2 years. But now we've started to see RSP continue to perform well. So what are we seeing? Well, we're seeing a rotation of capital out of those, let's say, higher beta, typically higher concentration names, and then redistributing it across the board. So it's really just this shift in rotation of capital, which is why you haven't necessarily seen a massive move down in the market, because the money is not leaving per se, it's moving. But that's why some of these moves have been so significant. Now, the thing that we've talked about before, and this is one of the things that we have to keep highlighting, is, okay, what happens when the bid in a lot of these other names starts to go away? That's when the market starts to lose it, and it probably will come as some sort of like big piece of news starts to get released. Which we don't know what that's necessarily going to be yet, but we could definitely be in for something over the next kind of month or so here as we get into April. I think after tax day, after April 15th, I think that's when we can kind of get to this next phase of the market. Fermi, if it gets to 11, let's take a look. And then BE back down. I mean, this thing has a lot of volatility on it. Earnings tomorrow. You can't touch anything on that. Market just nuke itself there. Gold is still slowly pushing its way back up here. Slow and steady. So we'll see. And again, for those of you guys that still need to hop in and join us within the LTMP community, that link is pinned to the top of the live chat there for you, but I'll throw it in the live chat here for you guys too. Again, use code February. That'll get you your first month for only $1 a day. So there you guys go. Moving aggressively again on BE, but this thing still looks really solid. We'll see what this thing wants to do over the next couple of days here. Gold moving back up. I still like the gold idea, even after the dollar kind of whacked it down today. Citron is now short SNDK. I haven't even looked to see what that's doing, but nothing there. Micron, again, this is what I was talking about yesterday. It's like this might be a good, or over the past week, this might be a decent looking setup here, but the problem is that until you get actually a strong sustained market move, this is not really going to go anywhere. Anthropic links AI agent with tools for investment banking and HR. Uh-oh. They have HR, design, engineering, operations, financial analysis, investment banking, equity research, private equity, wealth management. Ooh, uh-oh. Yeah, gold pushing here back up. That's good. That's good. That's what you want to see. BE, I mean, again, this thing is just, after the breakpoint this morning at 161.45, this thing has moved just really, really, really nicely. XPEV is starting to move there too. NNE base. That's not necessary. That's kind of a base, but not really yet. What's Quad U look like? This was a nasty move. Earnings are coming up. You've got REMX. We were talking about this morning, this rare earth ETF. I like that. There goes XPeng moving. And BE right back up. Like, this thing is crazy. RCAT? Malik, you've got some good tickers there, man. That's not bad. It's just got earnings on Monday. So not much to do. Gold moving up. B looks good. XPEV, new highs over here. Again, this has been one of the Chinese EVs that can really get legs. It's left NEO behind a lot of times, which is interesting. So let's see if this one can get going. That'd be nice. Neo refueling. I don't know. I mean, it's really got to hang out above the, what do you call it? The 200 EMA there. As long as you stay above the weekly 10, I think you're fine for now. But I think the market still doesn't trust it. So now that you've gotten to the first like big area where you're like, okay, Neo has announced the first profitable quarter ever. Now what's next? And that's what the market's looking at, and they're saying, okay, can they continue doing this? Gold pushing back up there nicely. That's good. Yeah, XPAV looks good there. BE looking good. Solid, guys. Where do I read my news from? Twitter. UMAC. It's okay. I mean, that would need a couple more days for me. What's the market doing? Nothing. You're just, again, guys, like, think about what, like, we could do a poll. It's like, we could just, like, you can see it across the board. Like, just sentiment across social media. You can see it in the live chats. People are not ready to start throwing significant levels of capital back into this market. And I think for good reason. I don't necessarily, like, I don't think that there's any reason to look at what we're seeing on the big indexes right now and being like, oh yeah, this looks good, you know? Like, where's QQQ right now? I mean, you've got the 200 EMA on the daily supporting you here. You're trying to get back above this. It's just this, like really tight chop area that you've been trapped in. XPAV looking good. Then what do we have? Like, where's IWM? I think IWM has actually been looking pretty decent. Yeah, IWM has been looking like, that's honestly too where a lot of the good setups have come from, is in small caps. The Dow, Dia, starting to lose it there a little. XPAV moving. Hello. Hey, bud. Yeah, Ale. Fast stock news on Twitter is a good one. Walter Bloomberg's a good one. Financial Juice is a good one. Just have notifications on for those, and you'll be good to go. But, like, what else are we seeing? I mean, like, Nvidia reports earnings tomorrow, so that could be a very interesting catalyst for the market here. Which, again, I would probably expect them to do pretty well with a lot of these increases in CapEx guides. So I think that could be interesting. That could save the market for a few days. What was also interesting too on Friday too, like the bad news with like more tariff or like a blanket tariff rate. You've got the Supreme Court stuff. You got potential escalation in the Middle East. On the other side too, it's like, well, the market didn't really sell off that aggressively off of the bad news, but also at the same time, it didn't go up. It just flatlined. Again, it's just overall investor just like, I don't know, exhaustion, I would almost say. XPAV is moving very nicely here. Hello. I'd love to see GLE get back up into this candle body here. That'd be nice. Like above what? 474? 60? It could do it. XPAV looks good. A lot of things are looking good here, guys. In terms of like the positions, but the market just itself isn't. You have to be very nimble. Like this is the market that exposes like who knows what they're doing and not, because like what you really have to look for in this period is like where the money is flowing into, which is why I made that video for you guys about like the gold and silver rotation, utilities moving. Like let's take a look at utilities today. What are they doing? Flatlining, but still staying at the highs. What are REITs doing? The REITs are still holding on here. You still see this rotation into telecom. Verizon, still at the highs. AT&T. I mean, still, this is actually potentially going to give us yet another setup here, which could be very fun. We nailed this. Like, this move on AT&T, guys, was ridiculous. Well, was that 1,000%er for the LTMP group? I think it was. What's the high day on this thing? 73? Okay. But then you have stuff like Bitcoin, which is just like it's just telling us that the market's not ready to go risk on yet. And then you look at Hood over here, like that thing is just getting absolutely murdered. Hood has more crypto exposure than, let's say, Webull does. Okay. This is funny. S&P 500 down 100% as OpenAI releases model that can watch YouTube videos and drink coffee as it responds to inter-office emails. That's a good tweet. Matt! Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to try to get a lot more YouTube videos out for you guys, too. But more like broad market stuff, I think. That's a lot of what we're going to do in the future here. I just have so many freaking things going on all the time. Like, I have periods where I can make a lot of YouTube videos, and I have periods where I literally just can't. XPev, rip. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Ralph pointed this one out on the private stream this morning with LTMP, and again that 1815 break has been really nice so far. Where's like Tesla? What does that look like? I mean, it's off the 200 there. I don't hate that, but like, where's the 200 weekly? Like, that's got to be way down. Yeah, 290. Ugh. That could get dangerous. And that's the like the software stuff here, like we've talked about this a little bit. I don't know. I mean, the software trade almost seems like too obvious, but not in a way that it's a good idea, if that makes sense. You know? It's like retail flying in. You've got like a lot of these software companies that are having significant issues. I'd almost rather, like obviously I probably wouldn't just go for IGV anyway, but you got to look for the names in software that like are AI, like are going to get enabled more by AI, not the ones that are going to get like penalized by it. You know? It's kind of what I would start looking for. Like not now, because the problem is that if we even see like any sort of like mildly meaningful correction in the market here, because that is the risk right now. I think people are talking about like the risk being to the upside in this market right now, and like with a lot of the individual names selling off significantly, I get that, but the problem is that's not really where the risk is. Because think about what we've seen, like think about what we've seen recently. Like software gets murdered, a lot of these different stocks get murdered, and what are we seeing people do? Dip buy. Retail inflows. So like you look at this and you're like, well, okay, so if they're buying here, where's the risk? It's like, well, it's lower, it's not higher. Yeah, hedge funds are selling and all that stuff, but that's just a reposition. That's not like flip short, you know? Because, like, how can you have the risk be to the upside here when we're, like, I don't know, 2.2% off the highs in the S&P? Unless Nvidia knocks it out of the park and you see everybody go back to, like oh, we're so back AI bubble. Because right now, the market is effectively, like very quickly, I think, kind of, it got widespread very quickly, but it was happening for a while, especially in software. It went from like, oh no, we're in an AI bubble, there's too much spending going on, there's not enough revenue being generated, to, oh, what if all this stuff in AI works, and you have this period of significantly increased productivity, margins widen, because costs go down. You don't have this need for all of these workers. People, the unemployment rate goes up, and then there's no consumers to buy stuff. And then what happens to a lot of these different companies, especially in software, that have been raising money at just crazy valuations and are marked as such on a lot of these balance sheets. Not good. So XPEV looking good here. BE still holding on, looking very good. Gold, we'll see, but that I think gold is still a good opportunity over the next few weeks. XPAP, new highs. There we go. Look at this thing go. Nice, guys. Again, I'll throw that link for you guys, or it's already in the live chat there for you guys. It's pinned to the top, and it's floating around in the live chat right now. Again, make sure you guys take advantage of the first month for $1 a day sale to LTMP. Use code February. That'll get you in there. Don't miss out. That sale's not going to be going on for much longer. Same. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Him's getting murdered, I believe. Let's look. Yeah, gold moving back up. That's good. Oh no, it came back up. I mean, that could be a sign of a short-term bottom here, but this is one of the biggest fumbles ever. Like, I don't know what was going on in management's heads when they were like, oh yeah, let's just like do crime. Like, and then people are like, no, it's big pharma targeting them. And it's like, you're literally trying to sell FDA, non-FDA approved drugs into the market. What do you think is going to happen? They just sat around the board meeting one day and they're like, guys, what should we do? We got to do this. And they were just like, let's do crime. And it's like, no, just get the partnership with Novo and Lilly and call it a day. Now that's probably out the window for them. Oops, you're screwed now. Why would you do that, Hims? We were actually, like, remember, we were looking at this thing back in this zone in the mid-20s. Why? Because there were rumors of them coming out back with a Novo partnership. That would have been great for them. Then what did we see? A gap up off of like, oh, they're going to sell their own GLP-1. And it's like, well, oral GLP-1. And you're like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not going to last. I think there's literally in one of the pre-market plans, I think I was like, yeah, Hims is gapping up here. It hasn't done enough yet to like completely get me interested in just slinging it right away. Let's see if it waits for a setup. But the fact that they're just they're doing this compounded nonsense again, I don't think is very good. And then nuke. XPAD back down. What's the market doing? The market slip? Yeah, market came back down a little there. There's still people out there that are like, no, Hims is great. And it's like the same thing that I said about Bmnr in like the 50s and the 60s. I was like, yeah, this is ridiculous. That's the weekly. That's never a good sign when you can't even see the freaking thing. Like, when Bmnr was up here, guys, and everybody was like, nope, this is the next big thing. And I was trying to, like, tell everybody that that was really not a smart idea. And then what happens? Bing, 55 all the way down. And then the only thing that you were looking for here on Bmnr, like, we had a nice trade. I'm pretty sure this was a nice multi-100%er right here for everybody. But, like, when you were chopping around in here, what was I saying? It was the same thing on Ethereum. It was the same thing on Bitcoin. It was like, well, if you want to see any sort of, like, medium-term upside on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then also by proxy Bmnr, well, you would need to see, again, Bitcoin break above this prior all-time high zone that it did, preferably with a retest of this zone where the buyers step up and say, nope, we are going to continue to take this thing higher here and defend this area. Once you came through here after it broke up and then started to sell through like this, it's over. Over. Done. The buyers were not strong enough to do this. You needed to get really back above that 200 EMA, and there were no signs that that was actually going to happen. Same thing here with Ethereum. You guys can go back and look at every single one of the videos that I was making about Bmnr, Bitcoin, and the crypto space. It was the same thing every single time. That's exactly why I was making those videos for everybody, because you're going to have these, like, people out there that are like, nope, moon. And it's like, yeah, but, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, Tom Lee was out here saying just absolutely crazy things about, like, Ethereum and Bitcoin. And it's like, dude, you literally have technical analysts at Fundstrat that are saying Bitcoin and Ethereum do not look good. In the short term, he probably needs to pay more attention to some of those technicals and not just go moon. Because he's thinking about a fundamental thesis and thinking over like a 5, 10, 15-year time horizon, when every single person that's listening to what Tom Lee is saying is basically looking at that for like the next month. And then he also feeds into that and says, oh, Bitcoin's going to here within the next month. And it's like, dude, you can't do that. That's not going to help anybody. So for Ethereum here, again, same thing. You were really close, honestly, on Ethereum. Really close. Right in here, we were talking about this, and it was like, this actually has a chance that if you break above here, this like 367 area, right above this high after it started to sell, you were probably going to make a nice push up. But then just like broad market just like does what it does anyway. Then you see this big sell-off, you see Bmnr go, and it's like, okay, now it's like the next phase of what we've been looking at in the crypto space, which is sell off, form a long-term base, play the break to the upside of that longer-term or medium-term base. That's what you're looking for, but I don't think it's done yet. You see any sort of weakness in the market starts to go more risk off, it's like, you're going to see this thing go. PE is a wild child. Look at this thing. Let's see. And again, as you guys are filtering in here, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. We've got a lot of slackers on the like button today. Let's see. A lot of slackers. Gold still looks good. What about like Rivian? What does Rivian look like these days? That's the weekly. I don't really care about the weekly. This might be a nice daily base, though. Not really. What about, like, no. You know what was interesting? Insurance is getting murdered. Like, I don't like that. This worries me. Like, seeing these insurance companies get hit, like Lincoln, you're going to see what else? Like, what's Travelers doing? Travelers still looks fine. Property and casualty insurance, okay. But, like, it's a little worrisome what's going on in the private credit and insurance space. It is. Like, even, like, I was talking to people and they were like, oh yeah, they're not really doing all that much of that. But, like, when you look at this report here from literally Moody's, it's like, well, approximately 1/3 of the sector's $6 trillion in cash and invested assets was allocated to private credit investments at the end of 2024. I don't like that, really. You're going into a dark market that's illiquid. It's like, they're kicking the can down the road with some of these things, and it's like, okay, maybe you can get these like interesting like rollovers and like kick the can down the road. But if you can't, what happens? I don't know. Like, it's interesting here. Like, I think some of the comments on the YouTube video that I made for you guys last week, in talking about the rotation, people were like, oh, it's just going to rotate into AI. And it's like, why, though? Like, there's not really a lot of, like, good opportunity out there for risk to reward in AI. Like, where's Nvidia right now? I mean, Nvidia's moving up. You have earnings coming up. But how far away is this off the highs? I mean, not that far. In terms of, like, what Nvidia, 9% off the highs? Okay. You're going to buy Nvidia up here? I mean, maybe that's a decent idea. But, like, where is the opportunity? You're going to go for some of these smaller AI companies? It's like the trade is kind of already gone. And the other thing, too, is you're not seeing it. You're not seeing that type of behavior in the market. You're seeing fear and like, timidness just all over the place. Because you'll see these moves happen, and it like aggressively moves to the upside, and then what happens? Rips up, tank. Rips up, tank. Rips up, tank. Oh, tank. Rips up, tank. It like nobody's trusting these moves. There's been no follow through. That's the problem. There's no follow through, which is why I keep sitting here and I'm like, caution. Caution, caution, caution. I don't know. China to sell carrier killer missiles to Iran. Uh-oh. Yeah, Mag 7 are trading at the lowest premium versus the S&P 493 in the last 10 years. And I can show you what RSP looks like. Look at this. Look at that. This is just a telltale sign of just rebalance across the market here. Look at this. Does everybody know what this is? This is the equal weight S&P 500. This means, what this is showing us, that we've seen just from drawdown off the highs, that money is getting sold in concentrated names and being redistributed in all of the other names that aren't. You don't see a sell-off? How? What is the argument right now to be very bullish on this market? Like, what is it? So I'm open to it. I'd love that. I'd love to get back to like easy mode where just like setups everywhere in the market rips. But it's like, what is the thesis for it? Oh, there's Cat. Like genuinely think about it. Like, where is because you have to have, like, people like seemingly always forget this. Like, the market is going to be a reflection of investor behaviors and thoughts, not narratives. Narratives drive the thoughts. The narrative right now is what? Is, oh my god, now it's like, what if AI is actually the main, like, actually performs better than what people think it does? What happens? And that's what's causing a lot of fear in the redistribution that you're seeing. The market has been driven by Mag 7. It's been driven by concentration risk. So to say that it's like, oh no, it's just going to go right back in, it's like, why though? Like, why would the money now move from value or some of these like other legacy names back into a lot of the other big tech names in a very like widespread, strong, continued fashion? Like, why would that happen? I'm not saying that it won't. I'm saying, what is the reason for it right now that we can project? Maybe Nvidia earnings, maybe. But the market kind of already knows what to expect with it. Oh yeah, with like CapEx increases, like Nvidia is going to keep doing well. Cool. Just look at like the derivative of AI here too. Like, look at RGTI. Look at this. Murder from 57 to 16. Remember the downside setup I gave you guys on this thing from 21 down to, that was crazy. You've got another one here and you've got earnings coming up. What about IONQ? Murder. What about QBTS? Murder. What about is QS one? I think QS is one. Oh, double murder. Because here's what happens. You'll have like a situation where like a lot, like where's Walmart today? Oh look, Walmart up 1.56%. Where's Telecom? Verizon still hanging out at the highs. AT&T setting up again. Coca-Cola over here, just pushing to the upside here. Johnson & Johnson, moving to the upside. Eli Lilly, again, bad news, still holding up at the highs. XLV, just look at the sectors. XLV looks good. Financials, death, not good. Very, very bad sign for the market. XLU, utilities. What are you seeing out of utilities? Still hanging out at the upside. It's like every single metric that you could look at to point to a lot more volatility and risk coming into the market is there. That's what it's telling you. And then when you just take a look across social media at overall investor sentiment, another checkbox there. People are freaking out. You know? And like still, we have no argument presented here for why the market would then trade significantly back to the upside here. The action, here's what it is. Like I'll tell you what the reason is, and it's still not a good one because then it still leads to the basically same exact place of like chop somewhere else or down the road. It's you get a lot of like shorting happening at these lower levels when people think that this market's going to move down. And then the market, again, just has like one sort of like decent piece of news. It starts to grind up. You see the squeeze and you get a most hated rally into the highs. That's what you get. But then what is that? Well, it's not driven by actual sentiment. It's just driven by people being like, oh no, we got to chase it so we don't miss it going back up. It's not like these large sustained moves that we've seen like this. Like people are expecting this to happen again, and it's like, why? That's my question. It's like, why would that happen? Ooh, Micron flipping back there, but still not really doing much. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, and even on a day like today where it's like, oh my God, it looks like the market's ripping. Is it though? No, it's not doing anything. You got nothing here. Nothing. It's just flat since the 13th, just zero. Yeah, is Cat still moving? Yep, there's Cat. Cat looks great there. Like Cat at the highs. What about Costco? How's Costco look? Costco's still hanging out there. What about Target? Target trying to make a move. And then you think about things like the tech names. It's like, well, software's in the garbage. Where's CRM? Dead. Where's Net? Dead. Where's Palantir? Dead. Like, I just don't. I don't see the argument right now to be super bullish. Like, think about where we keep projecting off of. It's just this zone. It's just this zone. Markets, like right now today, I mean, you could easily just be rallying off of like Nvidia earning projections. That's it. It's like, okay, they beat. Then what? Where's AMD right now? AMD had great news today with 5-year deal to buy with Meta to buy its chips for data centers, starting with 1 gigawatt this year and totaling 6 gigawatts. It's up 7%. That's great, but you saw a decent amount of volatility on that thing. BE back above here. Like Bloom Energy is ripping. Like the names that are getting the attention are different. So then that whole scenario has to switch. The entire way that people are viewing the market right now then has to change. And one of the only ways for that to happen is for people to feel like they're getting a deal. So that's why I keep saying, if you wipe this out, you then see, like, because it creates, you got to think back to like how it works in terms of behavior. You see the, okay, let's say we get a sell-off to even just down here, which is decent. Then you start to see maybe a little bit of a base or even a little bit of a V-shape. Well, a lot of other names out there are going to have sold off a lot more. And people are, one, going to think they're getting a deal. But two, as things start to move back up, FOMO central. because you have a big worry in the market, it plays out, you wipe out all that fear in the market, then you're good to go. Because the market isn't rational. Like, people love to talk about the efficient market hypothesis. It's like, it's not very efficient. You could nuke down to here. Nuke down. Run all the way back up. Like, let's say over a month, you nuke like this. Where is this? Here. You nuke like this. Then you start moving like this. If we did that, if this was the move that happened, down, up, the overall investor exuberance at this level would be ridiculous. You'd see people being like, oh my God, we're back. Oh my God, it's starting to break out to the highs. We're getting close. But you're technically at the same level. You know? It's the same thing. So all I'm saying is really just be careful. Be careful. Don't let yourself get caught in these, like, it's so over, we're so back whipsaws. Because they're going to keep happening. BE still looking good. Gold trying to work its way back up here. Nice. $50% on BE, not bad. Not a bad start on that thing. If this thing really follows through into the highs here, guys, and gets a nice move, look at what this has done in the past. Like, this is a name that if we catch this right, I mean, that could be another multi-thousand%er for LTMP, but we'll see. That's kind of why I'm interested in a name like this in this environment, because they can still go. They can get a mind of their own. That was another thing I was talking about on Twitter yesterday. I was like, you got to be focusing in on things that can, like, move with their own narratives, and sometimes when the market does what it's doing, it actually strengthens the argument for a lot of these, like, money managers to then allocate to those things. Which is why a lot of the times when we see things like McDonald's is a great example of this, when the market starts to stutter a little bit and McDonald's starts ripping and then the market starts to come back up, McDonald's just sells right back off. It's rotation in, rotation out. Nice move on AMD today. Where is Palladium? Oh boy. Guys, you guys want to hit Palladium again? Remember how it was wonky last time? Like, this is very, very, very wonky in here, but I think we got another Palladium mover. That could be fun. I was like the only person on the internet talking about Palladium before it went from, like, I don't know, 134 all the way up to 196. It was crazy. Elf, we can take a look at Elf. That looks good, just right under the 200. Be careful. Enphase, you can take a look at Enphase. Doesn't this have earnings coming up? Or no, it did. Yeah, I don't like this. I mean, we were looking for the post-earnings consolidation setup in here, but once it broke down, we were just like, meh. You know? I need to see a little bit more flatness and just a better look out of this thing. I think FSLR looks good, though. Yeah, it does. It just has earnings today after close. When's the State of the Union? Oh, when? Today. Uh-oh. Is this when we start to see some action being taken? I mean, I see something here. I mean, Marco Rubio will brief House and Senate leaders at the White House today at 3 p.m. Maybe right after the State of the Union, we get something going on over there. You never know. Yeah, tonight. Because it was they had to wait until after the Olympics. Iran's deputy foreign minister says Tehran ready to take any necessary step to reach a deal with the U.S. Yeah, but are they though? I don't think any necessary step means what everybody would think it means, because they're not. They don't want to give up a lot of the things that the U.S. wants them to give up. Yeah, State of the Union's tonight. At 9. That'll be interesting. Those are always strange, though. The whole thing is strange. What else do we have? I'm just looking for some. Oh, what in the... Yeah, let's see. BE still looks good. Where's Expo? Holding on. This thing could go nuts. Like, it really could. We'll see. What happened to IBM? That was the Anthropic tweet. Bing. I forget exactly what it was, but it was... That was off of the Anthropic stuff. Again, it's the same thing. It's just AI potentially making a lot of the services of these companies obsolete because they can get it for a lot cheaper at other sources. Yeah, I like Palladium here, though. Palladium sounds fun again. Yeah, I like that gold didn't just nuke itself tonight. AI spending hype may be too high. Wolf Research warns investors may be overestimating AI investment growth, even as market remains volatile. Recent trading showed headlines alone can push the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Russell down 1 to 1.6%. The analyst notes that while hyperscalers exceeded CapEx forecasts in 2025, sustaining that pace in 2026 is uncertain. Bottlenecks like power, materials, and regulations could slow large-scale AI build-outs by the second half of 2026. A spending slowdown could boost sectors hit by AI fears, but crash heavily levered heavily AI levered stocks like semiconductors and industrials. Interesting. Volatility and XPAT. I saw this. BE move, guys, can be really dirty. Like, that really could get nutty. We've seen it happen before on this thing. Like, you have a couple of sustained days on this thing. Like, this thing went from, like, 103 to, like, freaking 140 in, like, 4 days. Like, this thing could get to 200 in no time. That actually would be a decent first target on this thing, right around 200. If you wanted to really sling it, 200 would be a good spot. You do kind of have this, though, if you wanted to trim 176.50. It could also get nuked, though. That's the nature of this market. Oof, Bitcoin not looking good. I think Druck owns this too. BE, Bloom Energy. I think Druck and Citadel bought it last quarter. Yeah, that's up nicely so far. Yeah, Druck added it in Q4. Yeah, slow. We'll see what the market wants to do going into the end of the day, but it's probably not going to do all that much. BE looking great. Let's see what happens with XPEV. I mean, gold could be an interesting one too. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for us today. It is 11:30. I'm going to throw the link for those of you guys that still need to join us within LTMP here in the live chat. Again, make sure that you guys use code February. You get your first month for only $1 a day. Don't miss the opportunity to hop in there and get that trial rate. But yeah, guys, it's going to be an interesting end of the week. We got Nvidia earnings tomorrow. We got State of the Union tonight. That could be interesting. See how that one wants to move markets around a little bit. But again, game plan remains the same. Look for the rotation of capital and just stick to the post earnings. But team, other than that, have a great rest of your day.